Welcome to episode 218 of the Daniel Yoris podcast, Spring Q&A. Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for being here always. Spring 2025 Q&A episode coming right up. Thank you very much for your questions. If you submitted one through X, through Instagram, or through email, or just ask me in person or whatever, appreciate it always, and we're going to get to those. I don't really have too much else to say. Podcast has been going well. Lots of really good feedback. I was at a conference in Vegas the other week with some of the best and brightest minds in the fitness and health space, and people are definitely starting to notice the podcast. So I got a lot of great feedback, and so thank you to you for continuing to listen, continuing to give me your feedback, continuing to share the episodes and the podcast and social media with your friends and family and your loved ones, because that's what keeps this thing going. And if I'm helping people, then I will continue to do it. And so it's obviously getting some good feedback and getting some good traction, or continuing to do that. So the show goes on, but yeah, so thank you for that. But please share, subscribe, follow all the things, the links in the show notes for the free resources and various things, free workouts, free the newsletter, protein cheat sheet, all the other stuff that's there to help you and help your friends. So get it, share it, use it, and improve yourself as well. So yeah, let's do it. Q&A. First question, starting off nice and easy. Thoughts on the upcoming Canadian federal election? Obviously, I've read these questions and pre-selected them, but no, we won't get into it. Obviously, I have not obviously, but I do have a lot of thoughts. I think it's cool. I'll say this: I have a lot of thoughts on the election. I think it is not cool to have your life consumed by politics and things like it. I think it's also not cool to be completely uninformed and not care at all. So there's that, for whatever that's worth. So today, or the day that this episode comes out, actually will be election day. So go out and vote and make your voice heard and all that good democratic stuff. But I won't get into my thoughts. Just I hope the good guys win. We'll leave it at that. Any truth to taking 10 grams of creatine per day? So this has been an interesting thing, and the entire creatine hype, honestly, has been quite interesting. So I'm 30 years old. I started taking creatine when I was about 18 or so. And like at that time, when I was learning about it through friends and like bodybuilding.com forums and stuff like that, the creatine was already old news at that point. It was like, yep, take this. It works really well. It's like the most well-studied, well-established thing. And it's great. Use it. And here's how it works. And that's all. And I thought, okay, cool. And so I started taking it. Of course, my parents thought it was steroids because what is this strange white powder that you're taking? But it was like not that big of a deal. I took it. It was great. And that's that. And then recently, for whatever reason, and reasons that I can't quite figure out, creatine has this like big resurgence of people are like really hyped about it and all excited about it and taking it, and like as if it's some new thing. And it's I'm happy to see it. It's nice, but it's confusing to me. So in addition to like the amounts that you should be taking, which we'll talk about in a second, like forever it's been like, if I take 5 grams and you're good. And there were people, I remember reading some stuff like at the time even, where people were talking about taking higher doses, and some people were kind of just experimenting with it, and there was not a whole lot of hype around it. But now everything on social media just gets like blown out of proportion. And so people will start taking it and feel or notice something, or they happen to take a little bit of a higher dose, and then they go and hit a PR that day, and they're like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. So one, everything gets blown out of proportion. 2, is there some truth to the fact that it might be helpful? Like maybe. There's probably not that much of a downside to it. So if you want to try it, I mean, go ahead, assuming creatine doesn't impact you negatively, like digestion or anything like that. Cramping can be an issue with creatine sometimes, so be sure that you're staying hydrated, especially if you are taking creatine pre-workout. That is certainly a thing that's been reported. What I think is happening is this, and this is not really necessarily scientifically supported, just observationally. and this is true of all supplements and vitamins, just because you take X amount, it doesn't mean that your body absorbs that same amount. So if I ingest 5 grams of creatine in whatever drink or whatever form I take it in, doesn't necessarily always mean that I will absorb that full 5 grams of creatine. And it's not just creatine, again, this is every single vitamin and the nutrients in your food and all that stuff as well. If you take more of it, say your absorption rate is 50%, you absorb 2.5 grams, even though you take 5 grams. Well, if you take 10 grams, then you absorb 5 grams and you'll get that full benefit, right? So I think what's happening is that people are super saturating themselves and then therefore just absorbing more of it. I think there's almost certainly a little bit of that happening. People's gut health is not good and their digestive health is not good on average. But as far as like some crazy psychological mental benefits, like, yeah, it might have a little bit of a bump. It might have a little bit of a bump with your training and stuff as well. But there's no way that it's like that effective. This is not a game changer in, the missing link in your training or cognitive ability. There's no way. And the filter that I'll use to describe that is a similar filter that you've heard me say for sure if you've been a listener for a while. And that's that whoever is taking 10 grams of creatine claiming this is the greatest thing ever, like, this is not that revolutionary of a thing. They didn't invent a new product. They just took a little bit more of a thing that has existed for many, many years. So it's not a crazy idea or some out of the box. It doesn't require a genius to figure that out. And so is this person smarter than everyone else that they figured it out, or are they wrong, or are they just hyping it up for some personal gain benefit of some sort? Like, the leap to that taking double the dose of creatine is somehow super effective, and the missing link is a bit of a stretch, if you ask me, because we would have if it was that much more effective, like, we would have figured this out a long time ago, is the point that I'm trying to make. So might it have some positive effects? Yes. Is it a game changer that's going to, revolutionize your training and health and cognitive ability? Unlikely. Extremely unlikely. Is there a downside to trying taking more? Probably not. I mean, creatine is relatively cheap as well, so there's not even like a large financial impact although the price of creatine has gone up a lot, as the price of everything has, but it's not terribly expensive. So if you want to spend a little bit extra money on the creatine, take more, then by all means, like, go for it. Is there a downside to that? Probably not. Is there a potential upside? Maybe yes. So, like, if you want to experiment with it and see if it helps you feel better, then yeah, I mean, by all means, I'd say go for it. I just wouldn't expect revolutionary things, and that's the same with any supplement or diet or workout routine. It's like, hey, people are singing the praises and saying, like, this is God's gift to the world, and it's like, well, if that was true, then people probably would have figured this out by now. So either you're lying or stretching the truth, or you're just wrong, and so that's that. So that's the thing with that. Probably no downside. Worth a try if you want to up the dose of creatine. But I mean, creatine itself, as far as your workout stuff, cognitive ability, it'll help just by taking it. Creatine doesn't make you grow. It's not a steroid. It doesn't just magically grow muscles. It helps you train harder. So if you train like a little wuss and you take creatine and you continue to train like a little wuss, you'll get the results of a little wuss. If you train hard and taking creatine allows you to train harder, then you'll get better results. So the results come from your ability to train harder and recover better, not from some magic that is happening inside your body by taking creatine. So just never forget that. It's a great supplement. It works. I take it. It's awesome. And I know I'm not the greatest spokesperson to make you believe this, but besides popular logic, creatine does not, in fact, cause baldness. But so, maybe, do your own research on that one, but there's no real downsides of it unless it impacts your digestion, and you'll know that right away. I've had a number of clients who take it and like, yeah, it just kind of like fucks up my stomach, and then you just don't take it. That's all. So if that's not you, then by all means, go for it and see what it does for you. Question number 2, or number 3, I guess. Can you talk about speed and power development versus hypertrophy development for longevity? Good question. So to define these things, speed and power being, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, I think, but like, running and just like being able to move fast and generate force very quickly, throwing, jumping, sprinting, any type of cardio exercise at a fast pace. punching, kicking, like striking, those kind of things, versus hypertrophy, which hypertrophy is growing the size of your muscles, and probably including just general strength in this, because strength and power are different things. Obviously, they're related, but strength is like your absolute ability to move an object. So if you could squat 500 pounds, that's an exertion of strength. If you could squat like a jump would be something that's power. So they're related, but slightly different, because power uses speed. Strength doesn't necessarily have a speed component to it. So speaking of longevity, it's always, the question was phrased, if I recall correctly, in like versus kind of mindset, which I always find flawed. Like, these things are related and they should both be implemented, especially for like a well-rounded, athletic, healthy human being, and for longevity. But so the either or thing is flawed in and of itself. I think they're both important, and I'll explain why. Muscle keeps your body healthy. It's metabolically healthy. It keeps you strong. It gives your skeleton something to hold on to and be able to move you through space. Power and speed is something that is massively underlooked, and the longevity reason for why it's extremely important to continue to train these and continue to develop and at least maintain your ability to be fast and powerful, is because falls are one of the leading causes of significant pain, significant negative health outcomes, and even like leading towards death for elderly people. I mean, in theory, I guess you could actually die from a fall, but like, you've all heard the story of so-and-so fell and broke their hip, and then it was just downhill from there, and that was it. And so you don't die from the broken hip necessarily, but the broken hip leads to a lack of movement, leads to a lack of eating healthy, leads to isolation, leads to XYZ, and therefore, see you later. When you are falling down, the thing that is going to catch you is like your reaction time and your ability to develop sufficient power to catch yourself, to extend your foot to catch your body, to extend your hand to grab onto a handrail, or whatever, to something to break your fall and to stop a slip and a fall. So that's why the ability to continue to generate power is still important. Generating power also goes away kind of quickly. I don't remember the exact stat, but like pretty much the last time that most people will ever sprint is like elementary school recess, or maybe like high school. And then you just never sprint again. And so, when you're then 72 years old and you're walking in a parking lot and you slip, and you're asking your body to react very quickly and powerfully to catch yourself from falling down and hitting your head, well, your body hasn't done that in 50 years. And so it's just not going to be well equipped to do that when you actually need it. So you don't need to be, super fast and super powerful just for the sake of living your life, but you need to be fast enough and powerful enough to be able to catch yourself to potentially save your life in those kind of situations. So it's important for that from longevity. Muscle as an organ is going to be extremely helpful for your ability to move. It of course contributes to your speed and power ability. But just as an organ in detoxing your body, in helping everything else function properly, having a sufficient amount of muscle is going to be phenomenal for longevity, and as well as a sufficiently low body fat percentage. So as far as the verses, I'm not going to pick a winner here. I think they're both important, and they're both extremely, they're interrelated to a lot of degrees. But if I had to pick one that's like underrated, definitely speed and power is underrated, because I don't see a lot of people working on that stuff in the gym, even just jumps, even just like sprints on the bike, which is relatively low impact, is something that you should be doing. Just the ability to move fast and remind your body what it's like to get up and move quickly. So I think that's something that you should include in your training. Probably once a week is probably good enough, maybe twice a week. But again, moving really fast and with a lot of power is a big toll in your nervous system. So it doesn't need to be done every single day. It needs to be done at a high intensity, so you're actually training it at game speed type of thing. But yeah, it doesn't need to be trained super often, and it doesn't even need to be like an entire workout. You can just kind of tack it on at the end of your workout. Some broad jumps, vertical jumps, box jumps, ball slams, ball throws, sprints on a bike, sprints on a rower, sprints on a ski erg, things like that. They can be added on to the end of your workout just for the sake of like getting your body moving and developing some power. If you have more time to train, you can train 5, 6, 7 times a week or whatever, then yeah, maybe you can do like a power development session once or twice a week on a track or something like that if you want. I wouldn't say that that's necessary, but you definitely could do that, and it would be a cool like goal to work towards increasing your sprint time or something like that, your 100-meter sprint or something. But other than that, like just adding in some speed and power elements to your workouts is generally a good idea, but not, you don't need to, I'll say this, being sufficiently lean is way more important for your health and longevity than having a large amount of speed or power to pull from. And so the vast majority of the problem of longevity is that people are just too fat. The biggest problem is not that people are too slow. It's still like a thing, and you want to be able to catch yourself when you fall, but like if you're 400 pounds and you're falling, that's a lot of weight to be able to catch. And there's a lot of other problems that are going to come down the pipe. Like the speed and development thing from a longevity perspective is more of a protective thing, just in case something happens. I can't really think of a reason why speed and power would be healthy, like directly healthy, other than just a proxy of general health and like athleticism. Whereas like having muscle will actually help you like just be healthier, and especially having a sufficiently low body fat percentage. So speed and power, preventative, or reactive rather. Having muscle is going to be a little bit more preventative as well. So do both, but don't worry too much about it. Just like as if you're training well and you're being like a well-rounded human being / athlete, you will get all that stuff, and you don't need to really like. It's just not a thing to worry about. If you cover all the bases, the small things get covered. Question number, what are we on? 4. Favorite biohacks for fitness and health. So I used to be like way more into the whole biohacking thing. I thought it was very cool. I thought there was a lot of new, and it was, maybe it wasn't new, but it was new to me at least. We're talking like maybe 6, 8 years ago, of just like stuff that was coming out about blue light and cold showers and various other things. I think a lot of it is cool, but the more that I, as I grew up and talked to to more people and became a better coach and started coaching people and all this stuff, I realized that like the biohacks are such a fringe thing. Like they kind of only matter if and when you have the other stuff dialed in. Like you can have your blue light blocking, EMF blocking, grounding mat, this, that, and the other thing. If you just eat 5,000 calories a day, like it's not doing anything actually useful for you. So that's why I kind of went away from talking about them and from like researching them and keeping up with the latest stuff. There are a lot of really cool stuff coming now with various peptides, and that's something that's pretty cool that I'm starting to dip my toe in as far as research. I don't use anything right now. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't currently. But very cool stuff there, and that stuff, from what I'm seeing, again, very early in my own personal research and delving into that, some stuff that's potentially very revolutionary, and like, hey, even if you're not dialing the other stuff in, this stuff can really make a difference. Now, it's never an excuse to like not eat healthy, not train, not go outside, not walk, not sleep well, not drink enough water, et cetera, et cetera. But it's stuff that can actually move the needle on your health and on your fitness as well. Whereas things like wearing blue light blocking glasses, it's great and might help you sleep a little bit better. But like if you're drinking coffee at 8 p.m. and you're not doing anything to quiet your mind down, and you're eating a bunch of crap late at night, and then you throw your blue light glasses on for 30 minutes before you go to bed, like that's not going to help. It's not powerful enough of a thing to offset all of those other things that you're doing, quote unquote, wrong. Now, I will say that the blue light things is one of the things that I think it's worth it. It's a good thing. It's a easy, inexpensive thing to do. And it matters, right? Blue light is all over us. It's disrupting circadian rhythms and affecting your sleep. Things that can help you sleep better are generally going to be pretty powerful. So there's certain supplements that are in line with that, like magnesium is probably one of the more common ones, or one of the big ones that probably should be used there, but that's not really a biohack per se. And neither is blue light glasses, and neither are like, it's hard to say what is exactly constitutes a biohack. Some of the stuff is like pretty out there. There's some very expensive machines, and you look at them, it's like, this doesn't really actually do a lot. But some of the stuff is pretty simple, like grounding. I think that going outside and touching your feet on the grass and the grounding effects that has, and the electromagnetic relation to the earth and all this stuff, I think that's legit. Is that going to offset the 7 Big Macs that you had this week? Like, no. But if you're not doing that stuff, if you're already pretty dialed in, it'll definitely help. So that's why I've kind of, again, gone away from talking about it. But favorite stuff, I like the blue light stuff. Sleeping in a cool room is a good one, and sleeping in a dark room. If I had to pick 3 for sleep, that would be the combo. Make the room that you sleep in as dark as possible. Make the room pretty cool, and like in temperature, pretty cool, and get off your screens and use blue light blocking glasses of some sort, kind of like after dinner, or at least like an hour before bedtime type of thing. Those are going to help your sleep a lot. Again, assuming that you're kind of doing all the rest of the basic stuff right. Those are going to help your sleep, and when your sleep is good, you wake up feeling refreshed, and then you're able to have more energy to get better workouts in, be a little bit less stressed so that you can, make better food choices, and there's a gigantic positive cascade of effects that happen from there, just from fixing your sleep. So if I had to pick one, I guess, favorite biohack, and it's interesting to me that I'm answering the question as I'm talking through it. It's what happens when you have to talk to yourself. If I had to pick one favorite biohack, it would be things that optimize your sleep. And that's, again, sleep in a dark room, sleep in a cool room, and then get off your screens / blue light blocking glasses at least an hour before bedtime. It'll help your sleep and then help your life thereafter. Unfortunately, I don't have any promo codes to sell you or shill you some weird stuff for biohacking. So unfortunately, eating right, getting outside, getting sunlight, moving your body, getting a lot of activity, having good relationships in your life, like these are the best biohacks, and these are the things that are actually going to move the needle for you. But I don't have a weird promo code to sell you some silly product. But if you want help with getting those things dialed in, that's what my coaching services or my one-on-one coaching is all about. So if that sounds like something that you need, hit me up and we'll talk about that. Next question. What are we on? Number 5. Gym pet peeves. How much time do we have left? I've been, the past, what are we? We're in end of April now. So 4 or 5, maybe 6 months almost. I've been training like my own workouts, in a commercial gym. And so I've seen a lot of things, and a lot of things that I kind of forgot about for a while, where I wasn't really training in commercial gyms, just here and there, but like not regularly. Because I was in training studios and whatever other places. People who don't put their weights away is far and away like my number 1 pet peeve. It's not that much effort. It's extremely disrespectful to not do it, and it's lazy, and just like I think you're just a bad person if you don't do that. Straight up, it's just one of those things. Like just do it. It's my biggest pet peeve when dumbbells are placed in the wrong places. There's weight plates all over the place. You go to a machine, you can't tell if someone's using it because there's weights on it. When you're done with something, take the weights off, put them back. It's not that hard, and it just makes everyone's experience in the gym better. Another thing, maybe I'll just make this about general gym etiquette, because some of it, should be obvious, but like obviously it's not, because people do these things all the time. I can't think of a single reason why you would need a single good reason why one would need to do any exercises right in front of the dumbbell rack. Like people will often do this with shrugs or with like a single arm dumbbell row, where they'll grab the dumbbells, take like one step back off the rack, and then they'll do shrugs, or they'll like lean on the rack and do their dumbbell row. Don't do that. You're in everybody's way. It's annoying, because now I got to wait for you so I can put my dumbbells back or get the ones that I want to leave or want to use. And again, it's just disrespectful. Like, this is not your gym. This is not your home. There's other people here that are all paying the same and have the right to all the stuff that you do. It's just disrespectful. There's no reason for you to do it. If you can't grab your dumbbells and take 7 steps back from the rack to do your shrugs, then you literally can't handle them. And you're just being a big baby. So take the dumbbells and move back and then do your shrugs or do your curls or whatever thing that is that you're doing. Get off the rack when you do it. Some other pet peeves are, honestly, those are probably the biggest two. Another one, and this is not as common, but people who stink to high heaven when they come in the gym. I don't know what these people are doing, but it's honestly borderline a legitimate hazard. You get a whiff of some of these people when you've got a heavy barbell on your back, and it definitely makes you unfocused, and it's borderline legitimately a hazard to your health and whatever when you got weight on you. So I don't know what people are doing that they stink so bad, but don't do that. That's obviously pretty annoying. The people who take up machines and stuff, I don't honestly encounter that too much. And also I think people forget that it's very okay in the gym to just ask people to work in. If someone's sitting on a machine resting, they're on their phone, that's fine. I have no problem going up to that person and asking them hey, how many sets do you have left? Can I just work in with you? And I can't even recall a time where someone was oh no, you can't. Or they'll say, oh, I just have 1 set left, and they'll do it and then they're gone. So that's a very normal thing, and I don't know why that's been lost in gym culture. When I started going to the gym, 12, 15 years ago, it was normal. People were using the same machine. Hey, can I work in with you? Especially on machines where it's just a selectorized thing. You just put the pin in. You don't got to change the weights on a barbell. On squats and stuff with a barbell, it's a little bit harder because people are different heights and you're using very different weights, and it's a little bit more logistically annoying. But on a machine, you just adjust the seat up or down, and you put the pin in a different number, and away you go. You can adjust it to different people in 2 seconds. So it's not that difficult to just share stuff. So I see this as more of a problem of people being too afraid to ask others to work in, rather than it's legitimately a problem. Now, for sure, I don't really see this at my gyms at times that I go, but I hear it where people are oh, this, such and such guy is taking up a bunch of dumbbells and 2 benches and another piece of machine and has got his stuff everywhere. That's annoying. Don't do that if you're in the gym at peak times. You just be taking up all the stuff. But if you're on a machine and you're just resting, most of the time you're in the gym, you're resting realistically. You do your set maybe takes 20 to 30 seconds. You're going to rest a minute. So right there, you're doubling up on the amount of rest to actual work time. So most of the time you're going to be resting, and sure, you can get up and wander around, or you sit on the machine and on your phone, whether you're logging your workouts or answering a text or whatever. I don't think you should be scrolling, reading news articles and stuff while you're in the gym, but you're just on your phone answering something that's no issue there. So that stuff, common mistakes. There's so many common mistakes. I'll say this: the average quality of someone's training is definitely better than it was, but it's still pretty low. And there is also now this new problem of people doing stuff that they just see on Instagram that you can tell that they're trying to be smart and trying to copy what they've seen on Instagram, but it's just not they're either doing it still incorrectly, or it's not having the intended effect, or they don't understand why they're trying to do what they're doing, or they're just over engineering things. People who will take, a block, a bench, a cable, move all the stuff over to equipment just to do some sort of single arm, pull down thing, when you could just get the same effect by just kneeling, this type of thing. Or, this is a good one actually. People will use 2 of the ropes for tricep extensions, and in theory, yes, it helps you get a little bit more range if you use your full range of motion, but they'll use the 2 tricep ropes. So they're taking up 2 ropes, and then they're still not using a full range of motion. And so the 2 ropes only allows you to use a larger range of motion. If you don't utilize that larger range of motion, the 2 ropes don't do anything for you. And I know that must sound so obvious to hear, but it is unbelievable the amount of people that I see doing that thing specifically and just still kind of half repping stuff. And obviously I'm not going to go up to people in the gym and correct them. I don't think anyone should do that unless they're being unsafe and at risk of hurting themselves or someone else. But if they're just doing something wrong, like, great, do your thing. But I think they're just not thinking about it, or not watching what they're doing, or not understanding what they're doing. They just, saw Chris Bumstead do a tricep push down with the double cable ropes, which is great. And Chris Bumstead obviously knows how to train, knows what he's doing. But if you watch, like, they watch the thing, which is the double ropes, and they forget to watch, like, the technique that he's utilizing, which is the way that he's standing, the way his balance is, the way that his elbows are tucked, and the amount of movement he's getting through his elbows and through his triceps. And that's the thing that's more important than using the double ropes. Like, I've only ever seen, not that I'm a gigantic guy, so, whatever. Sounds not as good as unless I was, 240 pounds. But I've never seen someone with big triceps in my gym doing it with, like, the double ropes. I only see small people who are not lifting very heavy doing tricep pushdowns with the double ropes. All the big guys just use one rope and just lift heavy and do it right, and that's that. So take that for what it is. I think maybe the take home here is, with any exercise, I'm hammering on this tricep rope kickback because I've seen it a bunch of times, or push down rather. But with any exercise, don't over engineer it. Like, think, if you see something that looks cool or is purported to be beneficial or something on Instagram, think about what's actually happening and why that thing is beneficial, and then emulate that. Don't just copy stuff because you saw somebody on Instagram do it, because there's a lot of that, and it's very obvious as a trainer and as someone who is pretty in tune, I think, with the whole social media fitness world. It's very obvious to pick out the people in the gym who, like, just see stuff on Instagram and don't think about it, or YouTube. They see stuff and don't think about it and just try and copy it, and then they're just not doing what they think that they're doing. And it's not their fault. It's just blind copying, because nobody would come up with these kind of exercises or tweaks on their own. And it's great that you're exercising, all that. I get this pushback sometimes on Threads, which is an interesting platform. But it's like, yeah, I'm happy that people are exercising, but we got to raise the bar a little bit. Like, if you're exercising, you've already beat the biggest barrier, which is getting into the gym. So great, I'm happy for you. Like, that's amazing. The next thing that I care about is, I would love it if you were getting a good return on your effort and seeing the results that you are working so hard to see in the gym. And that requires you to be a little bit more proficient with your exercise. So I'm not getting mad at someone who does a double rope tricep pushdown with a poor range of motion. I don't really care. It would just be better for you if you just did the exercise properly. That's all it is. So take that for what it is. And if you want to improve stuff, then you got to actually think about what's happening and then do that correctly. But that could probably be a whole episode on its own if I actually made a list of, like, random pet peeves and, like, things in commercial gyms. Another one is this. I'll actually finish on this one. Is people who use the squat pad on the barbell. Just a bad idea. It's just not helping you. You need to learn how to hold the bar properly. And I get it, because at first it's uncomfortable. And it's uncomfortable for two reasons. One, because it's new. Two, because you don't know how to do it. And that's okay. You're not inherently born with the knowledge of how to hold a barbell on your back. And so immediately putting that big squishy pad on your back, on top of your neck, fixes the uncomfortability of the squat, of the bar on your back problem. But it makes it worse for literally everything else. And then you never learn how to hold the bar properly. So either hire a trainer, or ask one of the trainers at the gym, or ask someone else who knows what they look like and what they're doing. It's not rocket science, how to hold the bar so that it's not going to be the most comfortable thing in the world, but it shouldn't hurt. It shouldn't cause you pain, because you shouldn't be holding it on your neck, on the bones of your neck. It shouldn't be digging in. It should be kind of on the meaty part of your traps. So once you learn how to do that, you're like, oh, this is fine. And now I can squat better, because the squishy pad makes the bar wobble. It makes the bar sit too high up on your neck, which makes you be in, like, I know I'm on video and I'm moving the mic now, but, like, it makes you be in this weird kind of, like, head up position when people squat, which distorts the balance and the center of mass of your body. And people's squats are just worse. The bar is squishy. The bar is moving all over the place, or all the things that you don't want to be happening when you're doing a squat or doing a whatever exercise that if you're doing lunges or something else with the bar on your back. It's just bad news. Now, you should use that pad for doing hip thrusts, of course. That's what it's made for. So definitely that, because the same things don't apply and there's no protection there. Like, the bar will just, like, smash into your hip bones and be pretty painful. But yeah, it's one of those things that I see very commonly as well. And just like, you got to not do that if you want to be safe, be effective, and get good results. So no bar pad, and no doing things without using your brain and thinking about them. All right, maybe we'll end on this last one here. How do I think AI, or how do you think AI will impact the fitness industry? Is it a good thing? I think it's already been impacting the fitness industry. I think it's a good thing because it's just another tool. I've been messing around with it, just testing it. I think it's so far really good for nutrition. And it's okay at workouts and like training stuff. The caveat to if it's good for nutrition is, I mean, like any tool, you have to use it properly. It's only going to be as smart as you ask it to be, kind of thing. There are no secrets to like what's the best diet, but if you can use it to help you calculate your macros or ask very specific questions, or especially if you want to make meal plans. If you're like, hey, these are the foods I like, these are the foods I don't like, this is the amount of protein I'm trying to hit, this is the amount of carbs, amount of fats, amount of total calories, certain vitamins, whatever, and you ask it to spit you out a meal plan for a week or for a couple days or whatever, or a month even, it will do that, and it will do that pretty well, actually. So for nutrition stuff, it's actually really good, I'd say. For the training, I've not seen it produce like amazing programs, just generally, and maybe again this is also maybe because I'm just not prompting it properly. I got to imagine it's going to get much better, much faster. And admittedly, I haven't tried it in about a month or so with any programming stuff. And I've only ever really tried it, now that I'm thinking about it, asking very general questions like, hey, I'm a male in his 50s, has a full gym, write a full body workout 3 days a week. And it's like, the workout it writes is fine. It's just like very simplistic and very basic. So it's not bad, but it's not like better than if you just already Googled free workout program and just downloaded that. Like, it's probably worse than something that a person actually thought about. Now, if you keep asking it and keep tweaking it and keep asking it for more and keep asking it for more specific things, it'll probably get better. So I think for the knowledge side of things, it's good to get like fast answers and like slightly more personalized answers than if you were Googling them, type of thing, and reading an article or downloading a free workout type of thing. The thing that's still missing from it, and that's more important, is this: like, we don't really like, the knowledge is not the hard part here with all fitness stuff. We don't have a knowledge gap. Like, there are plenty of free workouts, there are plenty of free meal plans, there's plenty of free stuff that's out there and easy to find and easily available. And most of it is like good enough, right? I mean, I've said this many times, like, if you just go to the gym and you don't even do things that are that good, but you just like show up really consistently and try really hard for a long enough time, you'll get good results, even if the plan is like not that good. So the knowledge gap from doing a slightly better workout isn't the game changer for people. The biggest thing is the structure, which AI chatbots can certainly help with, giving you a structure of maybe how to organize your day, maybe how to organize your training, maybe how to organize your nutrition, for sure. But the thing that it's missing is the accountability piece. And that is maybe more important, because even once you have all the structure, all the plans, and the example I can give is like, I can't tell you how many people over the years, friends and whatever, that have like, hey, can you just like make me a plan? I'm like, sure, I'll make you a workout plan, I'll write you a diet thing, whatever. And then, they don't really want me to follow up. They don't really, it's not really like a real coaching thing. It's just like, hey, can you just do this for me? And I do it, and then they just like never use it, and it doesn't help them, obviously. So AI chatbot would be a very similar thing, where it's like, hey, make me this amazing plan. Like, the most amazing plan in the world is not going to help you if you don't do it. And I'm not, I'm sure there's ways to do this. I don't know how to do it, but if you could set it up to like message you every day and check in with you, I got to imagine there's ways to do it, but I think that knowing that it's like just an app or just a chatbot doesn't actually keep you accountable to it. Plus, you're not paying specifically for that. You might pay to use it if you use like ChatGPT, the premium versions, or like if you have Grok, if you have like a Twitter or an X premium account or whatever. But like you're not paying specifically for the fitness accountability of it, which you are paying for when you have a coach. That's the thing that I think it's going to miss. Because I think you'd be able to, I think psychologically you'd be able to just brush it off. Of like, even if you, I don't know how you do this, but I'm sure there's a way. Again, you set it up to like text you like 5 times a day to like go work out, or remember to drink your water, or remember to get up from your desk and walk, or whatever things that you need reminders with and checking in with. It'll answer your questions and all that stuff, but it's not, I think you'll be able to just brush it off as like a, you dismiss the notification, and you just don't do the actual workouts or don't do the actual meal plan because it's not going to force you to. Now, a coach can't make you do it either, but there is a certain level of accountability when you're dealing with a real human, be it a coach or be it like a friend or family member or something like that, that is actually holding you accountable, that I don't think an AI chatbot can provide. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe at some point in the future, as these things become more human-like or more advanced, that will change. But as far as currently, I don't think it can provide that, and I don't think it can provide that in a way that is going to hold you accountable enough to get the results that you're looking for. So it might help you parse out some of the knowledge and develop a little bit of a structure and answer some questions and give you a direction. Obviously, a human coach could do this as well. Now, human coach costs money. AI chatbot, relatively free. I think a good coach, at the current moment, a good coach is going to be better than a good AI prompted thing, and mainly because there's still a human element to this. The way that the exercises feel, the intangible things with sticking to a diet, with getting your lifestyle routine dialed in, with dealing with friends and family members and relationships, and that whole interplay with getting to the gym and fitness and your job and your boss and then your stress level because of this and that. There's a gigantic interplay of all of these things you can kind of break it down into X's and O's, or ones and twos, if you will, like a chatbot would try and implement it. But there is another layer to that is very human, where it's like some stuff has to be done suboptimally because it actually is the only way that fits into your life. And this is where like lifestyle stuff kind of really comes into play. And I think that for now, a chatbot is going to have a really hard time understanding that, especially if you're asking it to give you like a good plan. What's the best thing? Well, sometimes the best plan that's going to work for you is not the quote unquote best plan on paper. It is inherently suboptimal, because that suboptimability in the plan is the thing that allows you to actually stick to the program, and actually sticking to the program is the thing that is going to get you results. For example, is working out 5 days a week better or will get you faster results than training 4 days a week? Yeah, it would. Not crazy so, but it would. However, based on the circumstances of your life, maybe training 5 days a week isn't realistic, and that's okay, of course. So with a human, we would plan to like only train 4 days a week and maybe get in a 5th day like on some bonus weeks. But an AI thing might have a hard time reconciling that, and it's only going to tell you, again, it's only going to be as smart as you ask it to be. So it might not be able to read between the lines and understand that like, hey, you actually can't genuinely get in 5 days a week. It'll keep pushing you to that. And then you try and do the plan. It doesn't work because you can't make it 5 days a week. You feel shitty about it. And because you're not sticking to it perfectly, then you give up on it over time. This always happens. Versus if we just set the expectations accordingly with what you can actually commit to 4 days a week in the gym in this example, then you'll feel positive about that because you're achieving the plan that we set out. Even though the actual result is the same. In both scenarios, you're only training 4 days a week, but one of them is missing expectations and one of them is meeting expectations. You're going to feel more positively about the plan where you're meeting the expectations that you've set out for yourself, and therefore you'll try harder at it, you'll stick with it longer, and all of that leads to better results. So that's where I think that the AI stuff is going to is going to fall short on the very human elements of these things, because we don't have a knowledge problem. We have a knowledge problem in that there's maybe too much information, so it'll help you kind of sift through some stuff, probably. But it doesn't have any secret knowledge to say that like, oh, it knows something that like a coach doesn't know in pretty normal circumstances. I've seen people talking about how it's, read their blood work and given different interpretations of things like that. And for sure, there's things that humans can miss in that stuff. But aside from like those kind of maybe extraneous situations, if everything's kind of run of the mill, there's not really anything for a coach to miss per se. On paper, where AI won't miss anything on paper either, but it might miss the human elements, and a coach is more likely to not miss the human elements if they're a good coach, because you're a human too, and we have those human experiences which the AI does not have. So that's it. Overall, I think AI is a good thing. I think it's a good tool. Again, tools are only as good as you use them, right? A hammer is a great tool if you're trying to hammer a nail. If you're trying to, drink water. This is a terrible example. If you're trying to this is my cup. If you're trying to drink water and you're using a hammer to try and drink water, that's obviously a terrible use case for it. So AI is only going to be as good of a tool as you need it. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I know that there's a few programs that use kind of some sort of AI modeling as far as adjusting calories and macros and nutrition changes, and even some programming stuff. And I've heard good results of it. I've not necessarily tried them myself, but people seem to like it. It doesn't mean it's the best. It just means that like, hey, it works. And again, if it allows you, if you're like a self-starter person and you just need a bit of a plan to follow, then yeah, like it's going to be great. But most people, the thing that's missing is not actually the plan. Like the plan is missing, but that's the easy part. The thing that's actually missing from them making progress is their ability to commit to the plan and follow through on the plan. So if that's what you were trying to think about, I'd still go the human route, and I'll throw my name in the hat for that to help you guide you through that on the accountability piece, because that's really the missing piece. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's hard to stick to all these things because life and such is the world. But so we don't make the rules. It is what it is, and having someone to check in with you daily, weekly, regularly to make sure that you're doing the things that you set out to do, and troubleshooting and adjusting them along the way on the fly based on science on paper combined with the human element to all of this. That's a pretty powerful combo, and that's why one-on-one coaching is so important. But obviously I'm biased because this is what I do and this is how I make money. But I don't think I'm wrong. So if you think I'm wrong, then let me know the ways in which I'm wrong. But I don't think that I am. So that's that. We'll leave it there. Solid Q&A episode. I've got a 4-part series coming up for the rest of the month, and that's going to be exciting. So look out for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel on YouTube and on Spotify, on iTunes, and all places. Please leave a review if you haven't already. Make sure to grab some of the free resources that are in the show notes to help you and help you achieve your goals. And please reach out if you're ready for coaching and ready to take things to the next level with your own health and fitness. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. As always, go outside, be a good person. See you soon.